Excited, nervous, don't sleep on. It is one of our favorite times of every week. Do you know why? Because it
Why?
means you're almost ready to
So
watch
close.
football. What should you be looking out for? What should you be excited about as a Georgia fan? Is there anything that should make you nervous going into this game? Spoiler alert, the answer is always yes, right after this on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us your first listen. We love all the fans that are on here, that subscribe, that watch. We do this for you guys. This is for fans by fans. If you don't like this, if you think that we talk too much like fans, thank you. Thank you. So, Auburn fan
Appreciate
who has
it.
showed up in the comments,
We love you. Happy to have you here.
I'm sincere. This is not trolling. I love you. You help me so.
We're thrilled for you to be here.
Please keep coming. If you're a dog fan, we thank you for being here. This is why we do this show. Get over the audio side, subscribe. Get over the YouTube side, subscribe. Helps your boys out a lot. Today we are talking about what we're excited about.
Oh, okay.
What we're nervous about.
Mm-hmm.
And don't sleep on.
What you should not be overlooking heading into this game.
Yes, that's correct. So
we need a graphic for that. We need an image for that. We don't have it yet.
Okay, I'll think about it. Daniel, why don't you tell the folks what you're excited about?
Yeah.
What are you excited about?
Let me lead us off here. I am excited because this is the game where we're going to get to learn a lot about our football team. So this is a great opportunity to be excited as a Georgia fan. Now, the South Carolina game, obviously, Georgia learned a lot. They learned a lot about who they were. They learned a lot about, overcoming adversity. They got down in that game and they were able to go into halftime, make some adjustments, come out, outscore South Carolina 21-0 in the second half and win fairly comfortably. But this is the road test at an SEC rival in a hostile environment with a very young and relatively inexperienced team, which is weird to say for back-to-back defending national champions. Yep. But you got a quarterback that's never started on the SEC in the SEC on the road before. And his first road game, not just SEC road game, his first road game as a starting quarterback is at Jordan-Hare Stadium against Auburn. That is a brutal environment to be thrown into. We're going to learn a lot about the makeup of our team, about who we are. I'm excited because I'm tired of watching our team play cupcakes. Now, I don't think Auburn is particularly good, and I also enjoy riding in my truck, but those things don't necessarily matter to me because this is not a cupcake team. This is not a game that you just overlook on the schedule. This is not a game that you just pencil in a W and move on with your life and you just watch it to kind of to see what happens. This is our first opportunity to really get to lock in, watch a game, be a little have the butterflies going, as we're going to talk about in the next segment. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to be a little legitimately nervous going into a game. Is that weird?
It's not weird. This is the road test. This is a test. This is SEC test. We're going to know a lot after this. We're going to either know, are we bucket worthy the whole entire season, or should we be getting another bottle to go up on the shelf, to be top shelf, to enjoy as the season goes on? Mm-hmm. Are we going to go just Elijah Craig? And I'm not talking about the good Elijah Craig. I'm just talking about the stuff that you go Evan Williams maybe, which is still good stuff. But we're going Evan Williams. Are we going a little bit higher than that? And do I need to invest in some more orange buckets? Because, Daniel, we're going to know right out of the gate.
We're going to know.
Here's what I'm excited about. I am excited for this offense to be in rhythm,
Okay.
to be regular.
Same one.
This is going to be, I am most excited for the offense to just keep on churning. And then, because if you look at the stats back it up. We have a very efficient and very explosive offense. He has better numbers than Stetson Bennett right now. Carson Beck does. We are calling more explosive plays. We are calling better efficient plays than we were last year through 4 weeks. Okay, wake up, please. Because if we do it this week, if that continues, and I'm talking 28 points, 7 points a quarter, if we do it this week, I will come back on here on Saturday, and the overreaction show is going to be me telling you that we have a top 3 offense in the entire nation. That's what I will be telling you.
We've seen this movie before, Clint,
Please say
where
more.
the entire world said Georgia's defense and not offense, when the actual reality is that Georgia's offense is very, very good, very efficient, and very good. But that's kind of what I'm saying, is that like nobody buys it. It doesn't matter what we like. If we scored 70 every week against every team on the schedule, like, would it really matter? Is that better than what we've done? I know it's more points, but is it better? Like, does it mean anything more? Now is when you really get to see who we really are. We had a miserable first half against South Carolina. And then we came back and we dominated the second half. We were efficient except for missed field goals in the second half. But like offensively, the offensive units, the special teams struggled, but the offensive unit was incredibly efficient in the second half. And they have just been rolling in almost every quarter this season except for 3. And so 75% of the quarters that we've played this year, the offense has been absolutely cranking out yards and points and explosive efficiency. And if we see it again this week, you're right, Clint. It's time to start making declarations. And you know your boys. We love to make a declaration or two.
And if the game goes how we're anticipating, we won't have the Evan Williams out. It'll be
something nicer. Something a little nicer.
We're going to come back after this and talk about what we are worried about. But first, these. And these, Daniel, are Nutrafol. Nutrafol, right now, you shop at Nutrafol.com/min. Use promo code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first month subscription. And it means this: you don't have to choose between better hair growth and hair health and hair thickness and your personal health. You don't have to choose that. Sometimes you go out and you get this medication. This medication messes with you in some ways that aren't particularly great. It might be messing with some personal choices that you want to make in life. Daniel?
Just some weird chemicals you're just taking straight out of a laboratory and putting onto your body. It's not a great thing.
It's not great, but Nutrafol is the place that you need to go to get fantastic hair growth and hair health that you don't have to sacrifice for. Did you know that 80% of men will experience hair thinning in their lifetime? It's normal, but it doesn't have to be for your fate. You go ahead and get rid of that. Get ahead of thinning with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and scalp coverage. Take the first step to visibly thicker hair, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping. Go to Nutrafol.com/min, enter promo code LOCKEDONCollege. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/min, spelled Nutrafol.com/min. Enter promo code LOCKEDON. That's Nutrafol.com/min, promo code LOCKEDONCollege. Daniel, I can't wait to show you my "Don't Sleep On" image.
I saw you just over there furiously Googling while I was talking. I can't wait. But what are we not angry about?
Well,
what are we experiencing some consternation about? How about that?
What would make us maybe react like a Roy Kent?
What do we have some inner turmoil about when we think about this game?
Yeah,
I'll let you lead us off.
Here's on paper, all expectations. You go over to Auburn Fan over on our Twitter feed, and everybody is talking about how they'll be lucky to get 9.6 points, probably a shutout. I mean, Auburn fan knows they know their offense better than we do, and it's bad.
It's bad.
Okay, but Daniel, I'm terrified of this.
They play that game on paper, Clint? Is that what they do?
They don't play the game on paper.
Nah,
They don't
not.
play the game on projections.
No, they do not.
They don't play the game in a database driven, let me just do wild conjecture based on 3 statistics that I found with red yarn in the back of my closet.
There's no algorithm involved in football. There's not a single algorithm in football.
You can later make an algorithm based on what happened. But
not in actual football. There's no algorithm.
But not in actual football. No. Daniel, I am insanely worried that we will be the first team to allow Thorne to go over 100 yards, that they'll have a passing touchdown, he'll throw for 175, and all of a sudden, our defense is susceptible. If Auburn, the 100th ranked, 1-0-0 ranked passing attack in college football, I swear.
How can it be? Hugh Freeze,
old Burner over there saying how much of a
juggernaut.
Genius. Daniel, he's a
genius.
He knows how to move numbers around and get people in places that they should be wide open in. That's how he knows how to.
He knows how to move cell phone numbers around and get people in places that they should not be in.
Well, there you go. Glad you were catching my drift there.
That is a conversation for a different time.
It's neither here nor there. I am terrified. I am worried that we do give, and then the narrative is going to be Georgia's defense is susceptible. The strength of this team, Kirby Smart era, goes into Jordan Hare, and if Auburn can do it, anybody can do it. And now that little seed of discontent drops into everybody's head, my head most importantly, because I will never, ever forget that. I already hate Jordan Hare enough. I already have Jake Fromm Fields 2 of 72. It wasn't 2 of 72, but it felt like that on that day. We got absolutely boat raced out of the stadium. And if I'm not talking about winning, losing the game, I'm talking about that could very well be we lose the game if Thorne's out there throwing for 175 and a tud or 2. That means they have the ball. That means they're going up and down the field. That means they're driving. That means they're keeping the ball out of our hands. And all it tells me is that the best 3 safeties in college football aren't the best 3 safeties because one of the worst passing attacks can pass on us. And I am bucket worthy.
I'm nervous we're going to lose the game, Clint. Let's just
sorry.
I'm nervous we're going to lose the game. And here's why. Because Georgia was down by 11 points at halftime to South Carolina. Now that was adversity.
Oh, it was.
That was real adversity. Georgia came out in the second half, and to his credit, Mike Bobo, Auburn fans, you remember him? Mike Bobo put together a drive that absolutely cut like a hot knife through butter through the South Carolina defense. We went down, scored a touchdown. The defense came out, immediately got a 3 and out. We came back down, and that was it. The rest was history. But that was at home.
Okay.
And that was early in the third quarter is when that happened. I'm nervous this game's going to be sloppy. It's going to be messy. There's going to be, cover your ears, Clint, some missed field goals involved in this game. Okay? Woodring is going to be trotted out there. Once again, they're just going to parade that little man out there, and he is going to shank them left and right.
This is good. This is good. This is therapy.
And the game's going to be, you're going to look up and you're going to go, Georgia's only up by 3? Yeah. Huh. It seems like Georgia should be winning by a lot more than that.
And the halftime talk to Kirby as he's going in the locker room is going to be, Kirby, driving up and down the field, can't get points on the board. He's going to be like, yeah, you can't win a game. You miss field goals like that. We can't do that anymore. Miss points on the field. It's going to be the
Kirby's
worst.
Going to start going for it in the second half on 4th down. We're not going to convert. Auburn gets a late touchdown.
Okay, this is great. He's playing.
Takes a 4-point lead.
Real Shakespearean going on here.
And now there's 4 minutes to go. Auburn kicks off. And we've got the ball at the 20-yard line. And here comes Carson Beck and the Georgia offense. 4th quarter, on the road.
See,
It's now 7 p.m. in Auburn, and people are just sauced, just hammered and screaming their heads off. It's 100 decibels in there. And I'm nervous to see who this Georgia team will be in those moments. I know I said I was excited to find out who they were going to be in those moments.
You did.
But I'm not.
Not
I
lying.
lied about that.
Okay.
See, in the first segment, I was lying. I'm nervous that that's going to be the reality. So
We're going to come back after this, tell you what not to sleep on. But first, these. Daniel, these are in fact FanDuel. FanDuel.com/locked-on. The place you need to go. FanDuel is the official sports book of Locked On Podcast, Locked On Bulldogs. We love them. All the odds we give you come from FanDuel.com, except for the ones we make up, which we tell you well ahead of time. Right now, what you need to do is you need to sign up for free. FanDuel.com/locked-on. Deposit any money. Make a bet. If you make a $5 bet and you lose, don't worry. You get $200 in bonus bets automatically coming back to you. That is a $5 bet, one $5 bet. And if you don't cash, FanDuel will give you $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/locked-on. FanDuel.com. Please get in on this action. If it's 14.5 by Saturday, I likely will be into that water. Take the under. Daniel and I have been.
We both liked the under. We both locked up the under.
Please.
FanDuel currently, right now, 14.5 still. But let me just, what if you just take an alternate spread?
Okay.
Clint, on FanDuel. You can do this on FanDuel. FanDuel offers you all these options, all these alternate spreads. What if we just say Georgia minus 20.5?
What kind of juice we getting?
Plus 162 there.
Let's
we're
sprinkle
saying
some over on that.
Sprinkle a little bit on there.
FanDuel.com/locked-on. Make every moment more. All right, so Daniel, let's talk now through don't sleep on. What are you not going to sleep on? Because it's going to shock you. It's going to surprise you. You don't know when he's going to pop out of somewhere, and you don't know. Just don't sleep on.
Yep.
Don't
sleep on. That is absolutely.
If you're on the audio side.
What an image. What an image is that we're looking at.
If you're on YouTube, you don't want to see the image, go over to the audio side, download it right now. By the way, welcome to the 199. We are glad you guys are here. The 199
we made it through another
best
week.
Fans. We got here to another week. Get over on Subtext. We love interacting with you all. Daniel, what don't we want to sleep on for this game against Auburn on Saturday?
Don't sleep on Ladd McConkey.
Okay.
Leading the team in receptions. Just coming back as if he never missed a beat, Clint. As if everything is right with the world again. This guy has been jonesing to play. This guy has been on a mandatory sit for 2 weeks.
Yep.
You can't convince me that he couldn't have gone in that time, that he wouldn't have gone in that time. But that's what the doctors had recommended. I think he's going to be ready to go. I think we're going to see him. And I don't think you should sleep on Ladd McConkey having an absolutely big day in Auburn, Alabama.
Don't sleep on Brock Bowers setting a new record for touchdowns in a game with 4. I said touchdown each quarter. Like
Brock gets them all.
Don't sleep on. Here's why. Brock's warming up. He's here. He's leading in a lot of receptions for tight ends. We saw him last week. The man can't be stopped.
Cannot be defended.
And I'm sincerely, if Ladd is in this game, I love this don't sleep on more. Because what's going to happen? Ladd's in the game. Everybody knows, oh, man, he's back. Oh, man, open the playbook. Go ahead. Streak with him down the field. Take a safety with you. Take that inside slot DB. Take that linebacker. Go ahead. Press up on that cover 2 in that soft middle some more or that man coverage and watch Brock just catch on the run. And if he catches on the run, if he's in stride when he catches a ball, you're not going to get him. You're not going to touch him. Look for that little I'm calling my shot right now. That end around with him, that misdirection right when he goes left, that little pitchy woo-woo shovel pass that gets going to him, count that as a touchdown near the goal line, maybe 4 yards out. Don't sleep on him setting a single game record and touchdown because he's feeling it. He's getting there. I think Carson Beck's going to be slinging it around and getting a little dangerous with the ball in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. And I think Brock is the main recipient of that, especially with Ladd coming back. I think it opened up the offense more on the underneath because these DBs, Daniel, they're good. They don't let the deep get the deepest. They're very, very disciplined DBs. They're very good. Their linebackers, though, hello.
Not as much.
No.
Don't sleep on this. Now, I just made if you were listening to the ad, the FanDuel ad, you heard that I just made a reference to the alternate point spread. Georgia minus 20.5. Don't sleep on this game being nowhere near Georgia minus 14. And I mean that in either direction. I am seriously considering betting money on Auburn plus 6.5, which you can get at plus 200 right now. So you think this game is going to be closer than a touchdown, and betting Georgia minus 23.5, which you can get at plus 230.
Okay.
Which means that if either of those hit, I make a huge chunk of money. I'm talking about that's how I feel like this game is going to be. It's not going to be a 14-point win for Georgia. That's just not how I see this game playing out. I see it being real close and Georgia wins a squeaker or Auburn wins a close game. Or I see Georgia going into the stadium and absolutely embarrassing the Auburn Tigers. Like, I'm talking about, people are going to be writing about what has happened to Auburn, the football program, after this game is over. Those are the two directions that I can see this game going. I don't think it's going to be a 10 to 15 point game all the way through or in the end. That's just not how I see it playing out. Now, obviously, it could be that way, but don't sleep on the spread in this game being way off the final total.
I don't hate that at all. My last don't sleep on. And I talked about the death march before.
Yep.
I talked about Brock getting touchdown. Don't sleep on that. Again, these are longer shot things. If I'm giving bets, the death march
is running a punt back for a touchdown. Obviously,
there it is.
We said it on this podcast.
There it is. Don't sleep on a shutout in this game for Georgia defense. If we get Bullard back, Mike Hill back, and we feeling it, if Jordan Hare if the guys aren't intimidated at all, which is, you're human, you're gonna be, okay? So don't give me the line like people are intimidated by that thing. But if we start balling, we get a lather, we get a couple of early bounces our ways, and we start feeling our oats. And this defense, don't sleep on this defense coming into its own this game. This is, I don't mean to overhype this game any more than we already have, but this could be a breaking point for the entire season. The defense can figure it out, get in line, everybody healthy. The offense clicks. Ladd McConkey's back. Brock goes off. Carson Beck goes in to Jordan Hare, comes out victorious. And all of a sudden, all the naysayers who have been talking for days about how Georgia ain't Georgia and there's better teams, all of a sudden go, well, crap, what else are we going to say now? Don't sleep on this defense pitching a shutout. And if that's the case, I will again be on here just beating my chest.
Shutout going into the fourth quarter. That is an actual official prediction from me. Georgia will have a shutout going into the fourth quarter.
There it is.
Now, when the fourth string comes in, who knows what's going to happen?
Gosh, that's so fantastic.
Auburn, Clint, I'm not sure if you know or aware of this.
Say more.
Sucks.
They're bad.
They're also bad at football.
But again, hear me, Georgia fan, and all of you Auburn fans, and all of you weird non-Auburn or Georgia fans in our comments. You're going to say, well, y'all talking about this, you really played it up like we should have blown them out. They're so bad. And it's football. It's not played in the algorithm. It's Jordan Hare SEC on the road in a rivalry game. That's why it's 14 points right now. If these two teams didn't have a rivalry, if there was no history between us, and this was maybe a different locale, this game is not it's 28 points is the spread. Things get weird in the SEC with rivalry on the road. Things get weird. But all that being said, yes, Daniel.
The Auburn team total on FanDuel right now is 15.5.
Hammer the my. Okay, Daniel, take us out.
I'm betting it right now.
I'll take
we
us
are
out.
Locked On Bulldogs. Jump on the subtext. The link is in the comments. The link is not in the comments, in the description of this episode. We would love to interact with you on there. Try it free for 14 days and see what you think. We will see you guys over on the subtext on Saturday, and we'll see you all Saturday night for the overreaction show.
See y'all.